Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a vinyl update where I talk about a series of records that have recently made their way into my record collection. Like I said before, in previous vinyl videos, I typically do these raw, not a whole lot of editing or anything like that, and right here you can find a playlist of videos, previous vinyl collection videos, so you could see other things that have made it into my collection if you're kind of a record nerd, and we sort of talk about the records here and the packaging and all that other stuff. To start, a record from our sponsor, typically for these videos, the Eclectic Music Society. On their website you could buy records, buy art, vinyl related things, and yes, they pretty much have sponsored a great number of videos of ours recently, these vinyl videos, and they passed me a copy of The Roots, Things Fall Apart, late 90s album from The Roots. Fantastic record, and this particular pressing of the album comes with these really in-depth liner notes that sort of go into describe not only internal elements of the song instrumentally, but also sort of things that built up to the creation of the song, or maybe things that inspired the song, just events that were happening around the creation of the track. Really interesting, excuse me, just drank a fruit smoothie. Interesting information in regards to these tracks. Double LP, really thick, heavy pressing that this album has. Not a gatefold, though I do love a gatefold, but really beautiful, just like shining, man. Oh, you see a reflection in that. Yeah, this thing really is like a mirror. Very beautiful, very reflective record. Again, thanks to Eclectic for passing me this vinyl for this listen. You know, if you're into conscious hip hop, if you're into hip hop that has sort of a smoother jazz rap sound, then you're gonna dig on this. I do dig the Roots 90s output quite a bit. Records like Do You Want More? And this one, you know, because I have it now, was yet to make it into my collection, and after listening to it on the turntable, I see why it continues to rank as one of the Roots' best. Next, this record I've had for a little bit, but I actually forgot to put it in the previous vinyl video. Y'all know what this is, don't you? Do you know what this is? Actually, I might do a little bit of a. Oh, hold on. Let's slide it out, and then you guess. You know what it is yet? You know what it is yet? Yeah. Where it is what you think it is. It's a No Love Deep Web from Death Grips, and whew. Yeah, it is large and in charge on this 12-inch, which, I mean, I guess it takes up half of, so whatever. It's like as big as my arm in person. What are you gonna do? Vinyl pressing is in great condition, looks fantastic, and I actually have not put it on the record player yet. I'm yet to do that. I've got to do that soon. I mean, you know, there's less pressure because I've heard it so many times already, but got to hear the vinyl version. Make sure it sounds good. Got all the lyrics here and everything. Love this. Love their very simple, straightforward, shut the heck up approach to insert art. So there you go. No Love Deep Web in the flesh. You know, that was a wrong euphemism to use. Fugazi, The Argument. Actually, the first time I'm owning this record, I've pretty much owned every major Fugazi studio album except for this one, mostly because I didn't really care for the one that came out before this, so I didn't see the pressure to kind of jump into this record. But then, you know, later when I was getting into researching music on the internet and getting recommendations from people and talking to people about Fugazi and how much I love much of their early stuff, I was being told that this album is in fact amazing, and I was giving it a listen, and it is a fantastic freaking record. It actually makes me reconsider going back and listening to the LP they put out before this to see if I have changed my mind on it or anything like that. But listening to this album, I could really see how Ian MacKaye transitioned into a band like the Evens. Digging the insert on this thing, sort of like a 2-panel insert that comes with this record, and lyric sheet. Not a lyric sheet. No, it is a lyric sheet. There's a lyric sheet on the inside. Though I was looking at the liner notes over here on the other side earlier. And yeah, vinyl pressing looks good. Black vinyl. No crazy colored vinyl in this episode, unfortunately. But still, good records. Here is a record I'm yet to listen to, but I will be listening to it this week. I will be reviewing it this week, or at least talking about it at some point this month. The new White Suns record, Totem, except what I have here is a test pressing of the record. I have not put it onto the record player yet, but actually really excited to have something like this in my possession. So yes, the test pressing for the new White Suns album. If you're unfamiliar with them, I will put a link to their music down in the description. Noise rock band. And, it's plain as hell. It's a test pressing, but hopefully it sounds good. And hopefully, I like it as much as their last full-length LP. Here's another album that came out, or did come out this year. Came out a little earlier and it sort of passed by me, but the vinyl was passed to me by Derek over at Impose Magazine, sort of out of the goodness of his heart. The new Big Ups record, whose title I'm sort of... 8 Hours of Static. I'm just sort of confused by the lettering over here on the front of the record. I'm like, oh, is the band's name Ordab Chow? No, it's not. It's Big Ups. But anyway, giving a listen to this LP, which is actually in really great condition, I'm impressed more, not that the vinyl sounds fantastically better, but sort of giving this record a second listen has actually sort of made me reconsider reviewing this, and I'm planning on doing it soon because I think this band has a really interesting approach to... I'm picking up some elements of like very early like Rites of Spring emo combined with post-punk and noise rock and some really clever, sharp, sometimes satirical lyrics. There's a hilarious song on here where the singer is saying that people are always saying things are getting better, but they're still bad. Things are still bad. A really hilarious sentiment, and hopefully a record that I continue to enjoy. I listened to the first half, and I'm hoping that the second half is just as good. Another classic right here. Bam! Sorry, I had to do it. Big Black. This is a great, heavy noise rock record. Oh man, is it good. Really weird bit of text here on the insert. And, it just kind of continues on the other side with the thank yous and everything like that. But anyway, really great collection of tracks from Steve Albini and company. Heavy production. I love the tracks that the instrumentation is more fluid and the riffs are heavier. I love the tracks that have the drum machine in the background that's incredibly crushing. And there's one of my favorite Kraftwerk covers on here. They cover Das Model on here, but in sort of a noisier, more insane style. The record is in decent condition. It's just, an average pressed record in terms of, just the thickness and everything like that. Black, but still, sounds great. And I can't wait to give that more of a listen. I recently reviewed this band because they came out with a new LP, which I loved. One of my favorites of the year. Fuck Off, Get Free, We Pour Light on Everything. The debut LP from Silver Mount Zion Orchestra, which I mentioned in my review is sort of an era in the band's history where their music is a lot more instrumentally driven, a lot more orchestral feeling, not as heavy or as rock influenced, and I'm loving the shimmer of this print over here. I mean, you know, of course, the project is Godspeed related, so it has fantastic, you know, presentation like most Godspeed vinyls do. You know, just has fantastic presentation. They really do put a lot into just making sure that the records and the packaging and everything looks fantastic, has a really strong character, a really strong aesthetic to it. Can't wait to get intimate with this record. And moving on into something a little heavier, something I am excited to be announcing, my very first vinyl from this band, a band who I have a few CDs from, but this is my first vinyl of theirs. Bam! Master of Reality, right there in your face. So many classic Iommi riffs on this record. Sweet Leaf, burn now, now, and what is it? Children of the Grave. So, such a heavy record for its time. Such a heavy record. You know, people ask me all the time, hey, Anthony, you're into metal, you like metal. If I want to like metal, what do I do? What you do is you listen to Black Sabbath. Listen to Black Sabbath. Not only are their albums fantastic, and they are metal, and I think do have a strong element of melody and songwriting, and are not so harsh that they don't sort of lose their rock and roll edge, that they don't lose their blues influence occasionally, especially on their first LP, strong blues influence on a lot of those tracks. But I think their songs are accessible enough to the point where, you know, any general rock listener can enjoy them, you know, and sort of use them as a bit of a gateway drug into later forms of metal. And, you know, even if later forms of metal don't interest you, if you want to get into metal, you know, this era is great. From here, move on to something like Iron Maiden or whatever. But, you know, you could spend weeks and weeks and weeks diving into the Sabbath discography. Because there's so many good records, even after Ozzy wasn't with the band anymore. So, Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. The record is in really good condition. It's a heavy-ass record. Warner Brothers logo right there on there. Big, fat, you know, classic-looking label on the vinyl itself. And, you know, just a really nice, heavy cardboard sleeve for this thing, which I'm actually not going to fool around with right now because I have to move on and wrap up this video. But I do want to mention that there is a nice little, very vintage looking poster that came in this thing. Very nice. Very nice. So many nice things in this video. All right, finally, I have not put this on the record player yet. I picked this up recently, and I do know a handful of the songs on it, but I haven't put it on the record player yet. This is the one that I have not gotten a chance to put on yet. Fleetwood Mac, self-titled. What else is there to say? It is a repressing, so, you know, it's not like there's anything totally spectacular or unique about what is going on here, but I do like the, you know, sort of the cream, slightly translucent sleeve. Reprise Records logo there. They got the vintage label. And you have a lyric sheet over here. Wonderful. Very straightforward, very clean, very white, just like the record art itself. Again, very nice presentation for this album. Fleetwood Mac's stellar, from most of the songs that I've heard, self-titled record. All right? And Rumors as well, which I have heard, is actually a record that I do recommend if you have not heard this one, or if you want to give a listen to this and then move on from this. Some really tight vocal harmonies on a lot of songs on this LP. Really great drum beats. Landslide on here as well. I mean, you know, we're talking like 70s pop rock. And you know, and that's not necessarily a bad era for pop rock. I'm just musing at this point. Musing. Thinking of pop rock from the 70s. All right, y'all. I'm going to head out. I have a show that I have to go to, that I want to go to. And I will see you later. Hater. Transition. Records. Vinyl. Records. Forever.